Yeah, hi Mariam, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. You're
I'm
looking
good.
so
You're looking
gorgeous. I like your pendant and the
Thank you.
makeup and everything. Yeah, you look so pretty today.
Thank you. Thank you. That's very sweet of you to say so.
How is your day today?
Great.
Okay, so
So Priya texted me, said that my session will start in 20 minutes. Okay. Let me just play with the light for just 1 second, just to double check. So you tell me which lighting is better. I turned on an
okay.
additional light.
Yeah, this lighting is good.
It's good. Okay.
Yes, and the background is also very good.
All right. How are you doing today with all the sessions you've had to monitor? My goodness.
Yeah, it was a different experience. I'm enjoying talking with the speakers and knowing the unique way of each speaker has its own way of presenting, right? So with
Right.
different topics, inspiring, yeah, knowing, so getting to know better day
Mm-hmm.
by day. So yesterday also we have done with the day one virtual summit, and we really got a very good response, and the same response is continued with the day two as well. And we do have tomorrow also the end of this virtual summit. So yeah, more three speakers left for the day. So yeah, so
Yeah. So
if you
just curious, how does the live attendance work? Like people who are physically there,
mhm,
how does that work with all of that? Hi, Miguel.
yes, so you're talking about March 8th and 9th
Right, because if I understand correctly, this is to take place in
in
France.
Paris. Yes,
Hmm.
yes.
Yeah.
So
So that's
live,
next weekend.
yes. I think it's the next this week, right? Next week.
Next week. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes. So if you want, you can start your session now. Before you start your presentation, I would like to introduce you to the audience. I know,
Just to let you know, we don't have half an hour unless you want to go over 7 o'clock time frame. It's quarter to seven my time.
yes, I think there is only 10 to 15 minutes prior in lunch.
So I can go over time, over
Yes,
seven.
no, yes, no problem because some speakers have some technical issues, some personal issues. They didn't join so the session. So what happened is that it's like moving ahead. So instead of close, so we are closing the event 1 hour before. So yes, you can start your presentation. So before you
Okay,
start your presentation, I would like to introduce you to the audience.
great.
And so yes, welcome on stage, Mariam. Uh, so Mariam Nasso, am I pronouncing your name
You can
correctly?
just say Sardari. It's easier that way.
Okay,
Just say the
Mariam.
Sardari. Yeah.
Mariam explores the key components of self-care: physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, and social, and the role in building resilience, managing stress, and fostering a positive self-image.
Mhm.
Attendees will gain insights and practical strategies to integrate self care into daily life, using it as a foundation for empowerment, personal reinvention, and meaningful engagement in life and relationships. Wow, I think it's gonna be very good topic. Yes, please go ahead.
Let's hope so. Thank
Fantastic.
you for the introduction. Yes, thank
Sure.
you. Thank you, Melinda. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining in, even though the times switched around a little bit. Um, as she said, I'm Miriam. Very excited to be here. This is my first time doing this, so bear with me if I just get a little nervous. A little bit about me, my background. I'm a registered art therapist and I practiced that for years. And then my path took a little turn. And now I call myself a reinvention coach. I'm a certified life coach, but reinvention is sort of um, the what do you call it? The specialty that I like to give myself. It's mindset, personal development. It's under that umbrella, and for obvious reasons, I do believe that we need to first pay attention to ourselves, as they say, what goes on inside then reflects outside, right? So today I just want to talk to you guys unplugged, just organic, and we're getting back to the basics. The topic is self-care and its role in empowerment. Now, self-care, well, it's self-explanatory. We all know what that is. But with this chaotic world and the chaotic lives that we've all been experiencing, when was the last time you actually sat there and you thought, what about me? Or you had, a nice long sleep, wasn't disturbed, but you woke up, didn't really feel refreshed. When was the last time you said, oh, I have just had the best rest? I don't know about you, but it doesn't tend to happen a lot in my life unless I make a point for it. Hence this topic. Now, what is self care? Obviously, it's paying attention to ourselves, but I'm not just talking about bubble baths, taking a spa day, or just, taking a nice long shower, although all of those are very nice. Definitely recommend. However, in its essence, it's basically taking your power back, saying, hey, I matter, my time matters, my voice matters, and I'm worthy. And the beauty of this is that when we show up for ourselves, we can much better show up for others, right? Because we're kind of recharging our own batteries and then we can do better for others. Society, different cultures, most cultures actually, they nurture the idea of, you, especially for women, that we are supposed to just be there for others, give to others. It's selfish to take time for ourselves. And we end up feeling guilty anytime we want to do that. Personal experience I have, it took me years and years to learn that if I don't pay attention to myself, oh gosh, I'm good to no one else. So, self care and empowerment are actually two sides of the same coin because when we take our power back, when we give to ourselves, then, as I just said, we can better show up for others. And what better way for others to get this way from us, from our full cup, from our best version, our best selves? Now, if we were to take a little deeper dive, um, we can look into the science a little bit. The science of when we take care of ourselves, we move from this reptilian brain to the frontal cortex. And I'm sure you've all heard of the vagus nerve, but that's exactly what happens is we activate the vagus nerve. Why is that important? Vagus nerve is responsible for putting our bodies into its optimal functioning state. it makes us feel safe within our own bodies. When we're running ragged, running around, feeling pulled at so many different directions, we don't really feel our bodies at all. We don't feel safe because the news, things around us, global events, everything is geared toward just putting us on high alert. And who the heck feels safe when you're on alert? That's sort of like yellow or red lights that we feel really, really unsafe. So by activating the vagus nerve through self-care, we can just take a little time and sort of feel, come back into our bodies and give it some care. Now, let's talk about the different kinds of self-care we can engage in. It's not just physical. Okay, physical is one aspect, but we have an emotional side, we have a psychological side, we have a spiritual side as well. And we can pay attention to all of that. The more we integrate all of these aspects of ourselves, the better we can function, the more empowered we are. So let's talk about physical self-care. That's kind of the obvious one because we can take some time to move, take a little walk. If you like exercise, get a little more, move a little more. We can just hydrate, eat well, pay attention to our nutrition. These are all the things that give care to our physical well-being. Then emotional self-care. Okay. I would suggest try this tonight. When you are going to bed and you have time to just sort of reflect on your day, take a little time and think about some things you might be avoiding. What emotions do you really don't want to look into? Hey, nobody else has to know. It's just between you and yourself. Just take a look and dig in a little deeper. Look at your emotions. Look at the positive ones too. I'm not just talking about just look at, oh my goodness, all the negative things that you may have felt. No, no, no. Just in general, how do you feel? What does feeling emotional mean to you? What does it look like to you? And see if you can pick up a pattern, if you have something you avoid, and then look at that. Avoidance tends to be connected to essentially fear. And see if you can just give that, just no judgment. Do not judge anything that you do. You're just observing. You're being that curious observer of your own thoughts, of your own mind, of everything that you do, of you. So see what that looks like to you and observe it. And the next time that that comes up, perhaps you can feel a little more comfortable to sort of have a little conversation with that side of you who doesn't want to face something. You'd be surprised how effective this is. Then, spiritual self care. It's one of my favorite things. Any kind of spiritual practice. And what is spiritual practice? Anything that puts you in touch with that inner voice, the soul, if you will, the inner whisperings, and helps you be present. Anything from deep breathing, focusing on intentional breathing, to meditation, to mindfulness. These are all practices that benefit the spiritual side of us. Mindfulness is when we are present and paying attention to what we're doing. Um, Meditation, that word tends to make some people feel uncomfortable. It doesn't have to be like an hour. You can start with 5 minutes, and that could be the breathing that you are consciously engaging in, taking deep breaths and really focusing on how you're inhaling and then slow exhale. That's it. That's all it takes. And then over time, if you feel like you've sort of got the hang of it, then you can increase that and just sit. And there is another component of self-care that is also really important. I did not mention that earlier. And that component is the social aspect of our being. Social self-care, really. What does that include? Social self-care is our social circle, the people that surround us, making a point in spending time with people who raise our vibration. I like to call them juicers because they make things juicy, they make us excited, they connect us with our joy. These are the people that help us with our self-care. That is taking care of yourself when you spend time with people who align with you and raise your vibration. Zappers, on the other hand, are the ones who kind of tend to bring us down and sort of feed on our energy and kind of drain us a little bit. So, not so much spending time with them. Anytime you have to deal with one of these people, make sure you're from acting from a full tank. That really helps. Now, why should we care about self-care? Because self-care is what helps us with well-being. It makes us function in our optimal state because we are all there and all aspects of us are integrated together so that we can show up in the best way possible, not only for others, but also for ourselves. That's pretty much the crux of the reason that self-care is important. Now, I want to just mention some actionable steps that one can take in order to put this into practice. Well, we mentioned nutrition and hydration. That's one of the steps. Make sure that you consciously choose what you are feeding your body in order to get it to be good to your body. It'll be good to you right back. So healthy eating, hydrating is really important. Um, Starting a morning ritual. We talked about breath work. You could start with that in the morning, just upon awakening. You can take a little time before even getting out of bed to just get into your body, be present, and taking some deep breaths. Greet the day and take some deep breaths. I really enjoy gratitude practice, so I kind of combine these together. Um, See if that works for you as well. Little bit of movement, the age of Zoom and technology has us having sedentary lives for the most part. So take little breaks, walk around, um, take walks if you live in a place that is conducive for that. Um, Or if not, just take a walk around, your space, maybe look at the window to just kind of disconnect and also have some movement in your body, get your blood circulating. Um, Mental break is very important. Take breaks when you're working, obviously. Uh, you can just 5 minutes at a time or 10 minutes to just have a little mental break. Setting boundaries. That's a really important step. And I've in recent years have come to appreciate that because I did not practice that. And I have learned that it is best for all parties involved to have boundaries. I'm not talking about being offensive or aggressive or anything like that, but just assertiveness, just making sure that you don't right away say yes to everything, that you take your time. And if something doesn't work for you, I'm going to have to sleep on that. I'm going to have to think of that and think on that. And that buys you some time in order to uh, decide what you want to do next. But it sets a boundary. Um, okay, this also is it's a little challenging because all of us are so used to being on our either cell phones or on computers and all that. Taking, let's call it digital detox, taking little break from being plugged in. I'm not talking about a couple of months at a time, maybe an hour during the day. Just put your phone away, leave your computer, just disconnect from anything digital. Believe me, that is going to recharge your body. That's a very good practice of self-care. Now, if you're enjoying doing creative stuff, if that's something that you're inclined to do, that is a wonderful way of paying attention to where you are. I have art therapy background, so for me, creative work is always how I disconnect and how I recharge my battery, whatever it is, whether it's doodling, doing mandalas, any kind of paint on paper, or actual specific kind of creative work. That does it for me. I would suggest you think about what works for you and just do it. It's so much fun. You get in touch with your with that child inside, and it connects you with the vibration of joy. If you like to read, then do that. That's also very helpful. Um, if you have close friends that really hold space for you, that's another beautiful way you can engage in self-care. And that kind of goes both ways. I already mentioned gratitude practice. That is huge, huge, huge. It connects everything together. Um, I challenge you to try this for a week. And I'm not talking about being grateful when everything is perfect. It's actually the other way. When things are challenging, just give a gratitude and just say gratitude for the potential of growth, for the potential of learning, even though I don't know what it is yet. It changes the energy and it brings you to a state of peace. And paying attention to what time you go to bed, how much sleep you get. This is not easy for everybody because we all have very busy lives, but you can make a ritual, for example, okay, beyond 11 p.m., I'm going to just disconnect from everything. I'm not going to watch anything. And I'm going to get into the mindset of giving my body rest. And that will get your body used to that. So Well, here are some steps. I would suggest, pick one of those and try that for a week consistently and see how that works. And if you're interested in the action steps that I was mentioning, feel free to let me know and I can email that. It's a list and you can just stick it somewhere and remind yourself of those. It's helpful guideline. I hope this was helpful for you guys. I'd be happy to answer any questions if anybody's got any. Otherwise, it was a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mariam, for sharing your insightful message to the audience about self-care, connect with child, friends. Safe. It is very necessary, very important to connect with each other and and have a very good like network with one another. Not only with child, friends, anyone who will be in contact with you. So thank you so much for sharing the inspiring and a good message to the audience and a very good topic you chose. So please, and we do have other speakers, two speakers left for this day. So please join those sessions and embrace them.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.